Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something pretty game-changing, how modern tools can totally transform the workday for public servants, right here in Indiana. We're going to see how AI isn't some science fiction idea anymore. It's a real practical assistant that can help free up time for what really matters, serving your community. So let's jump right in. Now, to really bring this to life, we're not just going to throw a bunch of features at you. That's boring. Instead, we're going to follow a public servant through a pretty typical day. We'll get to see exactly how these tools help solve the real challenges she faces, from one moment to the next. All right, so let's meet Anna. She's a city administrative officer, a CAO, in a fictional but, very familiar Indiana town called Hoosier Hills. Think of her as your typical CAO. Super dedicated, really sharp, but like so many folks in local government, she's constantly juggling a million things at once. So it's Monday morning, the weekend's over, and Anna is staring down that classic Monday problem, an absolute avalanche of emails in her inbox. She's got to figure out what's important, but right now, critical messages from citizens are just buried under everything else.
Okay, first things first, we've got to get that inbox under control. For Anna, this is all about turning that information overload, that flood of emails, into clear, decisive action. So here's the first real challenge. Hiding in that inbox is a super long email chain from a resident. You've seen these back and forth, lots of details. How can she figure out what's actually going on without getting bogged down for, 20 minutes trying to piece it all together? And you know what? The solution is ridiculously simple. With that long email open, she just gives Gemini a simple command. Summarize this email. That's it. She doesn't have to learn some weird coding language or special commands. She just tells it what to do in plain English. And boom. Just like that, Gemini cuts through all the noise and just hands her the critical facts in a clean, bulleted list. The pothole's location, how long it's been a problem, and exactly what the resident wants done. All the fluff is gone, leaving just the actionable info. Okay, so now she gets the problem, but the next step is just as important, responding. She needs an email that's professional, empathetic, and actually helpful. So how does she pull that off without spending another 15 minutes wordsmithing the perfect email? Well, you guessed it. She just asks. She uses the Help Me Write feature and just describes what she needs. And notice how specific she is, mentioning the street, the need for assurance, and including a timeline. She's giving it all the right ingredients. And there it is, a perfectly crafted email, ready to go. It hits all the right notes. It's professional, it shows the city cares, and it's clear. This is huge because not everyone's a professional writer, right? This helps make sure every single communication is consistent and high quality. All right, so inbox conquered, but Anna's day is just getting started. Now her focus has to shift from talking to people to analyzing data, which is obviously a huge part of making smart decisions for the city. Suddenly, an urgent request comes in. She needs to pull a very specific report from a giant payroll spreadsheet. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of rows of data. Now, in the past, this meant she had to go track down the office's spreadsheet guru and hope they had time for her. It could take hours, maybe even a day. But here's the thing. Anna doesn't have to be a formula wizard. She just pops open the Gemini side panel right there in Google Sheets and asks her question. Just like she's talking to a person. She's literally just describing the report she needs out loud. And this is the magic right here. Gemini just gets it. It understands her question, and in an instant, it writes the incredibly complex formula needed to get the answer. This is an absolute game changer. It basically makes everyone a data analyst. You don't need a special degree to get answers from your own data anymore. Okay, so Anna's crushed her email, she's wrangled some data. What's next? Well, now she's got to deal with those dense, complicated legal-style documents. You know the ones. Finding that one critical piece of info, the needle in the haystack, is a massive part of her job. So on her screen, she's got two different Union Memorandums of Understanding, MOUs. These things are dozens and dozens of pages long, full of legalese. And trying to compare them manually for upcoming negotiations? Oh man, that's a nightmare. We're talking days of painstaking line-by-line reading. But she's not going to do that. Instead of blocking off her entire week, she just gives Gemini a simple, direct command right there in Google Drive. Compare these two files and tell me what's the same and what's different. And wow, look at the result. It's incredible. Gemini digests both of these huge documents and spits out this super clear, side-by-side summary. Here are the things that are the same, like grievance procedures, and here are all the things that are different. Compensation, benefits, you name it. What would have taken days of manual work literally just happened in seconds.
All right, let's switch gears one more time. Let's talk about another huge part of Anna's day, meetings and working with her team. This is where the big decisions get made, but it's also where things can easily fall through the cracks if you're not super careful. So picture this. Anna's in a super important project meeting in Google Meet. And normally, her brain would be split in two. She'd be trying to listen and contribute to the conversation while also frantically trying to type down every single important detail. And you know how that goes. You can't really do either of those things well at the same time. But with Gemini, all she has to do is click Take Notes for Me, and that's it. She can now be fully present, fully engaged in the discussion because she knows that Gemini is in the background, capturing all the key decisions and action items. And after the meeting, everyone is on the same page. No more, wait, who was supposed to do that again? Okay, so let's take a step back and look at Anna's whole day. When you see it all together, you realize this isn't just about saving a few minutes here and there. It's about a fundamental shift in how work gets done in government, all thanks to a modern, connected toolkit.
So let's just recap what we saw. Anna got more time back for citizens because she wasn't drowning in email. She made faster decisions using real data without needing to be a spreadsheet expert. She turned days of boring document review into a task that took minutes. And her meetings were smarter and more productive because no key details were lost.
And that really brings us to the big question, the one that matters most. We just walked through a day with Anna. Now, I want you to imagine this kind of power in the hands of your team. Think about the unique challenges you're facing in your city or county in Indiana. If you had these tools, how much more could you accomplish?